Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, welcome to Ask Coach Jenks. We're here with John Jenkins, my dad, the football guru. I'm going to get right into it because we just saw the NFL divisional rounds in the playoffs and a lot of exciting stuff. But first things first, Tom Brady, obviously, the Buccaneers lost. And I'm going to ask a real tough question for a guy that loves Tom Brady. And that's going to be my first question is like, hey, Dad, obviously Tom is older than most, not just quarterbacks, but everyone in the NFL. What are your thoughts on him retiring? When should he retire? Is he even thinking about retiring? What's your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I think that was brought up. The subject of his retirement, or by some of the media. I think just I don't know to try to stimulate, stir the pot, whatever. Uh, he did sign I think a new 3-year contract last year. I know he's awfully disappointed to go out, and not go to the NFC team, but this he hasn't. Any quarterback, they're going to win and they're going to lose, and but this is the greatest of all time, and certainly he's defied nature. He's a freak of nature, going on 45 years old to lead the league once again. Not to play well, not to be in the top third, let's say, and still be relevant, but he was the league leader. Touchdown passes, uh, passing yardage, completions, things that every quarterback would aspire to be. And he did this at age 44, with a team that went 13-4, I believe, was their record. Actually, 14-5 if you count the playoff win and then the playoff loss yesterday. Uh, I don't see any way that he'd want to hang them up and walk away. I think I think if anything, they need to fit some pieces in there, to get some healthy players around him again, uh, off and running once again.
Yeah, yeah, they were 14-5, and yeah, I mean the dude is killing it, and the Rams look good. And honestly, there was a slow start for the Buccaneers, but
Yeah,
they ended up figuring out a way, and especially I think it was the end of the third quarter and a lot of the fourth quarter to start to you know become very competitive in the game.
yeah,
So, what do you think about the game overall?
yeah. It actually started out kind of like I thought it would. The Rams beat them in the regular season 34-24, and pretty well handled them all the way through the game, with Tampa Bay being healthy. Now this was way a couple of months ago, back when Tampa Bay was extremely healthy. So I did not expect anything different in the. Tom Brady was hurried. He was rushed. He was hit on his throws. He was forced to go to the screen game, which is not the wide open attack that he wants. And they were down 27-3. And I had a cast of people that I was talking to, and friends. I was telling them, I said, you know what, back when he won the Super Bowl, they had a very unlikely comeback against Atlanta where they were down 28-3 at halftime, and then 31-3, and they came roaring back and won that Super Bowl game. And they're all laughing, and I'll be dang if he didn't do it again in the second half. It looked like the pass rush kind of got tired of the
Oh yeah,
Rams. Aaron Donald and Von Miller, great, and the rest of those guys. Hey, boy, they've got a relentless pass rush, and he had some time, and he beat them deep with Mike Evans. Gronkowski got loose a couple of times, and then Fournette broke down on the goal line to tie the game up. And here's what's crazy: the the Rams got the ball back with only 30 seconds left in that game. Matt Stafford ran a quarterback sneak against a coverage, what I've always called cover five, which is man to man underneath, two deep zone. And one of the weaknesses there would be if you've got a run and they can run a quarterback draw or quarterback sneak, you might just run for 20 yards until the safeties drag you down because nobody else is looking for that play. And Stafford checked to that. He checked off when he saw it, and he went. He's not a big time scrambling maneuverability guy, but he got wrapped up and he fumbled the ball. He fumbled the ball, and the ball hit the ground and bounced right back to him. Now, let's play the what if game. What if that ball had squirted loose? Tampa recovers it. They are already in field goal range to win the game with just 30 seconds left. They would have run one play, and here's that Sukup, I think is his name, the great field goal kicker of theirs. Wouldn't that have been amazing to walk off the field, riding the Rams of a sensational season like that, and to beat them? As it turned out, the next two plays, Stafford. Well, I should say the final big one was when Tampa had the blitz on, and they did not get to him. Stafford laid the ball up to Cup, the great receiver that led the NFL in receiving this year, and he got drugged down on about the 13-yard line, and then they come in and kick the field goal to win the game. In just to put it away, 30-27. A great comeback by Tampa Bay and Tom Brady once again, but it was just not meant to be.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah, it looks like his stats was 5,316 yards, threw for 43 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. That's like MVP status. There's
Yeah,
no question.
big time.
Yeah, and then and well deserved win for the Rams. Not saying anything other than like Tom Brady's pretty much Michael Jordan in a slow white man's body. Let's be real. So like the dude's the greatest of all time. Like
Yeah,
it's like like don't hate on Michael Jordan. So
yeah,
like we're watching another Michael Jordan play out. So just sit back and admire it. You
yeah.
know.
No kidding. We'll never see this. We'll never see something like this in our lifetime again. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah. So the LA Rams are going to be playing the 49ers. What do you think about the 49ers game with the Packers?
Yeah, this was interesting. This was another case of the Packers being wound up and wired up for a big time win. And get this, their defense is playing lights out. They don't give the 49ers a single first down until there was like 4 minutes left in the second quarter.
I
I
know.
mean, they're manhandling them. They're taking charge of this game. On the other hand, the 49ers are playing good defense. I mean, they could have had them blown out, but the 49ers are playing good defense. But yet, offensively, Garoppolo, and their offense couldn't get anything going. They finally made a first down with about 4 minutes left in the half, of all things. And then special teams took over. Special teams took over where the Packers could have increased their lead to 10. They get a field goal blocked out in the middle of the field and gives great field position for the 49ers. And then late in the game, they're backed up. They punt and get the punt blocked, and the 49ers scoop it and go in the end zone to tie the game up, and they've got all the momentum now. Then they had just enough to get down and kick the field goal with no time left on the clock. What a huge win that was for the 49ers in Green Bay. The only loss this season that Green Bay has encountered at home. They were 8-0 regular season, and then this playoff game right here after getting a bye, having the best record in the NFL, and getting knocked out. Now, again, 49ers defense did a great job. They kept Aaron Rodgers off the board, no touchdown passes. Basically, a lot of cold receivers of his running around aimlessly. And now, when I saw him walk off the field in defeat and look up in the stands, it was kind of like, is he looking up there for the last time as a Green Bay Packer? Because his free agency is now up, and he's going to be with the value that he's got. We're going to see exactly what he's got on his mind as far as shopping around.
Yeah. So 49ers versus the LA Rams next week.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, again, here's another glaring situation where the Rams have defeated them something like 5, 6 times in a row the last 6 meetings or whatever. Certainly the most relevant this season and last year. But hey, they're going to play the game. And what if some other crazy things happen on the special teams end that the 49ers can capitalize on? Uh, I would expect the Rams to win this thing. They're going to be playing at home, and they've got the Super Bowl at home. If they win this thing and win the NFC, they're going to the Super Bowl. I say it's the LA Rams all the way.
Yeah. 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 And then yesterday, the craziest game probably I've ever seen was Bills versus Chiefs. Like, my dude.
Wasn't that wild?
Seen in your life?
Yeah, I tell you what, two great performing quarterbacks. Josh Allen not only throwing himself down the field, but he ran off, looked like a wild running back on the loose as well, with those quarterback designed counters and quarterback sweeps that they put in, and he was a one man show. Of course, he threw 4 touchdown passes to one receiver, which was a record, and but just a magnificent job by both guys. After the 2 minute warning late in the game, there was 28 points scored by both teams. That is remarkable.
I know.
It was sure just an unbelievable finish. One of the great games in NFL history, without a doubt.
Josh Allen led the team and in rushing yards, and then this Gabriel Davis, like I didn't know too much about him until yesterday.
Yeah.
Over 200
Right.
yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. He almost tied Jerry Rice's record for 5 touchdowns in one game.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
My
and
goodness.
again, just what makes it even more crazy is that when he scored late in the game, Josh Allen, to basically put the game away with only 13 seconds left. How in the world does Kansas City answer those points? I mean, ideally you'd think, well, you're going to kick away and back them up, 75 yards. There ain't no way. They squib kick the thing, give them good field position, and then Kelsey gets loose on a vertical route that Mahomes hits him on, and he gets up the field, slides down with just what was it, 3 or 4 seconds left in the game, and they kick that thing to take it into overtime, and then they win the toss. They go right down the field again, making third down conversions, and then put the ball in the end zone to win the game. Amazing.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it was.
And then the Bengals were super impressive too. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to have to play the Bengals,
Yeah.
next week. And like every team yesterday was just,
Yeah.
or this weekend was just incredible.
But yeah, here's what's really unique about this. The Bengals have had a hot hand of winning here in the last month. Their last 4 or 5 games they've won, including beating the Chiefs. However, they were able to overcome. Get this: Joe Burrow was sacked 9 times. 9 times in this last playoff game, and still won the game. Now I tell you this: that is fascinating. You go back in time, just it doesn't even have to be a playoff game. Just say, hey, what team statistically the quarterback sacked 9 times and still won a game. Normally that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. You know what? If you get sacked 5 times, that's something's wrong with your protection. If you get sacked 4 or 5 times in a game, this was 9 times, and yet Burrow was able to keep his focus, coming back again, and he hits good old Chase as a reliable receiver on a corner route to put the thing in within reach of a field goal, and they walk off that field victorious. Amazing. Just another unlikely finish. Uh, they've again they've played the Chiefs recently. About 4 games ago, a big shootout with Burrow and Mahomes. Burrow prevailed in that one. A second-year guy that he led the league in completion percentage, over 70%, right at 70% of his routes, and very much what he did his senior year at LSU, leading the nation in completion percentages. So this guy's for real. This is not a fluke that's happening. It's not like, well, the defense is carrying them and special teams is carrying. They're playing well. They're playing well also, but this is really interesting how this one stacks up now with the Chiefs and the Bengals.
Okay, so Joe Burrow ties NFL record for most times sacked in a playoff game. Warren Moon in 1994 got sacked 9 times when he lost to Kansas City, and the other guy was Chiefs Lynn Dawson in 1967, and they actually ended up winning. Kind of like
Yeah, that goes way back to the old early stage of the Super Bowls when that was first played, and yeah, Lynn Dawson. You know,
wild,
yeah, it sure was.
crazy, crazy. So, what do you think? Like, who's going to win, Bengals or the Chiefs?
Well, again, the Bengals won in a close one the last time they played. Gosh, I tell you what, I think it would. You got to go with the experience. I think just we can be emotional here and say, oh gosh, well, Joe Burrow, boy, look what the Bengals have done. Hey, if they're going to win this thing, go to Super Bowl. It hadn't been since 1980 since they've been. I think. You know what? The Chiefs have been the last couple of years, and they're very mature. You'd think the Chiefs would win, but you know what? I think it'd be great for football if the Bengals was able to pull this out and go to the Super Bowl. I think it would be really, really great for the league and just for fan interest. I think it would be great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to call the 49ers because I've been assuming that the 49ers would lose to the Cowboys. They didn't. I thought they'd lose to the Packers. They didn't. So
Yeah,
the route we're going is I keep betting against the 49ers. They're going to end up winning. So that's my
yeah.
prediction at this point.
You know what? Hey, they've got or two. Like you say, they're always picked to lose, and yet they come up with the winning formula. And now they dominated Dallas in that
Yeah.
first playoff game, but this one was very unusual, and having to be reliant on teams, which is a third of the game. I think everybody understands it now. Being able to block that field goal and then block that punt that they returned for a touchdown, that turned that thing around, and it sent Aaron Rodgers and all his teammates to the tunnel as a loser. That was
So how important is it to have like momentum going into the playoffs?
well, it is. It's real important. I think if you can make the playoffs, like in Tampa's case, they limped into the playoffs. Tampa Bay limped in with lots of injuries to receivers as well as their offensive line, and it showed. And yet, Tom Brady willed them back into that game, which was very unlikely. Uh, Other teams are completely. Sometimes it just works out that way. The Rams are in that position right now. They they had one. I think they had one situation of an injury, a left tackle on offense. The replacement guy had a great game. He had a great game. No sacks, no nothing. He did a great job. So I think they've got a great taste in their mouth. The Rams do. Uh, others again. You see Kansas City, the way they won this thing over Buffalo. Whether they're going to have enough energy in them to match that, you would say, hey, that's unlikely that a team could come back and put another performance from behind, and particularly being out of the game with 13 seconds left. But you know what? Mahomes can scramble around. He can make plays with his legs, very much like Josh Allen, scrambling around. And he's got that accuracy, and he's got a cast of receivers, big tight end, and Tyreek Hill, the speedster, number 10, out of good old small University of Central Arkansas over there in Conway, Arkansas. And they're going to have some weapons.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. We'll see what happens, and we'll swing back to another conversation next week.
You bet. It'll be a lot of fun to follow. And boy, I tell you what, I know that the league office is awfully excited in the NFL to have that kind of performance out of those games. Those were some of the great games of history that we just witnessed here the last couple of days.
Yeah, man. All right. We'll talk to you soon, Dad. Thanks so much.
You bet, Rafe.
Talk to you soon.
All right.
All right, bye.